happy Friday, everybody. This is our first interview, official, and so I have an air cleaner in our house that kills like anthrax, so that's why we're able to be that close. But I wanted to share one of my favorite people with you, so that you guys could all get a little taste of Daniel today from Biotics.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. And this is Nicole with us. Okay. Hi. Hi. First time here. Okay. So
yes.
The reason I brought him here is that I wanted to share just some stuff about like weight loss. Since I know that we're all about the immune system, but now we've all gained the weight, right?
Yeah.
So now we're over it. Like I'm over the immune system. I've got it.
We know what to do there.
Right.
Yeah.
And now putting the food in my mouth
right.
and eating in my clothes. Somebody's shrinking my clothes, in my closet over the summer.
I get it.
So we need to figure that out, how we can.
Sucking it in right now.
Right, sucking it in. So I just wanted to share with you guys a little bit of you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
A lot of new information in the world of weight management and lots of ideas out there in the dietary world of what to do. But I think you guys have some great questions for me that I'm happy to answer. Let me give you a 1-minute snippet just so people listening in know that I'm just not some Joe Schmo.
Yes.
I've been in this industry for over 25 years. 22 years representing Biotics Research. I have a certification in clinical nutrition, and my background is biochemistry of nutrition. But the passion I have is just learning and sharing the information I get to educate others. So hit me up, what you got?
And I will just say that he's super smart and he's super fascinating, and by the time he's done talking to you, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, whatever he's talking about, I will do. Because he's just super smart.
Thank you.
Super awesome.
And I did not pay her for that.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So our first question is, how can supplements and detox play a role in losing weight, and what do you suggest?
Good question. A lot of people talk about detox programs on many different levels. You can think of cayenne pepper and apple cider vinegar detox programs. But when you look at true pathways in the body and biochemistry pathways, not to get technical, but the liver is kind of your filter system.
Yes.
And so we stress our liver on a regular basis via our environment. You look at the Phoenix pollution, our food supply, the medications we take, and the things we ingest are all filtered through your liver system. And so a lot of that causes an inflammatory process. And in the world of weight loss lately, at a lot of the conferences for the past few years, they're talking about, somebody's here, they're talking about cellular health and cellular inflammation based on weight loss. And so when we have these detox systems not functioning up to par, we're causing a lot of inflammatory pathway processes. We're not getting rid of the estrogens, we're not getting rid of the excessive hormones, we're not getting rid of the pesticides as well. So upregulating the detox pathways in the liver, there's 2 pathways in the liver, you're gonna clear some of that out. And when we do that, and we take away inflammatory foods, which is a big part of the process, when we take away inflammatory foods, we are decreasing inflammation in the body, and we're also then clearing things out of the liver. So there's a lot of nutrients involved there, but protein is really important in the detoxification pathway. And when you look at the numbers statistically, most people do not eat enough protein. Yeah. So that's first off. Secondarily, looking at nutrients, when we watched the video on weight management just the other day, he showed the amount of sugar intake in the United States versus other countries.
Ridiculous.
Versus eating vegetables and healthy fruits, where you're getting all those phytochemicals and those nutrients to help all these pathways. So specific supplements, many companies like ours have very specific programs to upregulate that. We have a 15-day program that we launched years ago. We did a small patient population study and found in 15 days, taking the inflammatory foods out of the program, enhancing those liver pathways, that we had on average 9 pounds of weight loss in 15 days.
Yeah.
But also what happened was in a pre and post subjective questionnaire we had the patients fill out. Yeah. They had a 65% on average decrease in pain and inflammation. Why?
Wow.
Because we're clearing the excessive hormones out, we're not eating inflammatory foods, we're not weakening the immune system with
Right.
all the sugar and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots you can do there for enhancing weight loss and getting the metabolism up and running. I'm a big fan of proper detox programs.
Yeah, I think, and I want to add in that too, like I've kind of been with you guys talking to you about how I had a hormone doctor put me into menopause. And that is exactly what he was talking about. Like with the liver cleanse, it helped me to detox those pathways to where I could actually start to get back. I was able to reverse the menopause, which, because I'm 44 and I don't want that anyways. But I was able to reverse that through the liver cleanse because it really did, it cleared the pathways so that I was able to almost like regenerate my liver and actually have things filtering through it in a natural way and all the progesterone and all the junk that she loaded me with. So I am very a big advocate of the liver cleanse.
Yeah, I mean, in my clinical days, a long time ago in Wisconsin, that was our first initial pathway process when we had people with hormonal challenges, is open up the liver pathways. And that was an old-time osteopath doing that 25 years ago, was if we can open up those pathways and conjugate, clear out the excessive hormones,
Yeah.
we had a lot of people feeling a lot better quickly.
Yeah, it was pretty, I was pretty awestruck, I guess,
Yeah.
by the result of it, because it was when somebody tells you that you're in menopause and you're 44 and you're like, what?
Yeah.
And I was able to reverse it. I was grateful, and that there was an option.
A lot of people make it, in my opinion, overly complicated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No, it's not complicated at all.
Yeah.
Actually, your brand Biotics actually does a really nice job of making it very clear, very simple. Here's your stuff.
Yeah,
Very clear.
I think so.
I think so too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Oh, you want me to ask now? Okay, I'm gonna ask the question. Okay, so cortisol imbalance.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
The importance of movement and lifestyle and their choices. So how do you keep cortisol, sugar, insulin, all of that stress, all of that imbalance, and working out?
Yeah, not easy.
No, I mean, where's
Yeah.
the magic?
Yeah, I
Where's the
don't,
magic?
there's no magic one pill. That's the one thing I must say is, I wish I could offer that.
Yes.
But I've
You'll
not
come
created
up
that.
with
So cortisol imbalance, we are a high stress society. There's a lot of decisions that need to be made every
Yeah.
day by all of us. What we're gonna feed the kids, work, relationships, everything. And we live on these phones.
Yes.
Increasing that stress response, that cortisol response. And so when we're increasing that response, cortisol really affects sugar imbalance and is kind of what I'll call the weight hormone. When we can learn to manage our stress and bring down cortisol levels. Now there's nutrients you can take to help balance cortisol, okay? But it's not all about just taking a pill. The importance of movement. We know regular exercise
Yes.
brings down that stress response.
Yes.
We have a stress response. There's a sympathetic, parasympathetic system in the body, not to get technical, but those are your two responses in the body. And the sympathetic is we're wired and fired in stress.
Yes.
And parasympathetic is we're calm, we function well, and this is where we have we're missing this component. And so exercise, I go hike the mountain behind us. I call it meditation on the mountain. It brings down that cortisol, puts you into that parasympathetic state. And that's how we can really manage weight and stress, is by doing our regular exercise. You promote that a lot. I see that on Facebook a lot, is the regular exercise and how important that is. Lifestyle choices, if we can learn to put away the addiction of the phone, especially at nighttime, I see such sleep disturbance out there that's your regeneration time. That's your hormonal regeneration time, from the neurology in the brain to make you feel better and happier, to the balance of hormones in the body that we're not gaining all that weight. Sleep is huge. And those lifestyle choices of how much are we drinking,
Right.
what time are we going to bed, again, what inflammatory foods or non-inflammatory foods are we eating. I see a lot of people choosing, especially in stressful times, foods that are very inflammatory. Doritos, we'll give an example, or whatever that.
That's not in my house.
Cupcakes, yeah. Whatever tastes good is often, in many levels, very inflammatory.
Yes.
And so those are the choices that we need to think about. And the programs that you offer, that we offer, are designed to help you make those choices much easier. We've designed it to just follow the booklet, that you don't have to go, what am I going to do today? We have those in our programs. In our cleansing kit and in our new weight management program, we give you the tools and the booklets to follow to say, okay, I can do this. And I can get on page with making better choices. And really, when you get into that pathway of starting to feel better, you're going to say, gosh, it wasn't that difficult. I could do these simple things. And it's really refreshing when you get some solid sleep.
Yes, like for real.
And so you'll set yourself up for that pattern, you know, once you get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and you also have, you have a couple of the programs that you can actually help with that, right?
Yes.
So we have stuff that I'll put on Facebook too, and that will help all of what he was just talking about with the parasympathetic and sympathetic. And I've talked to you guys about this a lot just because I know what the stress does and with the cortisol, and I'm a person that came out of the womb, I think, fight or flight. So I'm constantly trying to figure it out, and I'm determined to figure it out and share it with you guys. And so, you know, I've talked about the parasympathetic, and if, you know, your body doesn't know whether you're being chased by a bear or you just had to slam on your brakes because somebody like stopped in front of you, but you still get that cortisol drop, and that's what makes us fat, and we don't want to be fat. So, I mean, so we'll just keep, you know, I'll put the stuff on, online for you guys for the kit and stuff, and you guys can look into it. But he had there's some great stuff on there that helps you get into the parasympathetic nervous system, so that you can actually live your life and react in an appropriate way.
It's nice to feel calm.
Yeah, it sure is.
And people aren't used to that.
No.
And so it's really my passion to educate and get people into that place of parasympathetic tone where things function better.
Yes.
There's not so much pain, digestion works, libido works better in parasympathetic.
Yeah.
We are feeling more alive that way.
Yes. Yes.
So happy to help and be here as a sounding board for information.
See, this is why we have them here.
Yeah.
Okay, then why don't you go?
Oh,
Yours.
so with the program
Yeah.
that you offer, who would be the ideal client for that? Is it just for people who are substantially overweight, or is it okay for people who just need a little
No, you know, every category is important to me. We all, wherever you're at, we all feel a little bit out of balance. And so if it's 5 pounds or 50 pounds or more, it's time to make some different choices.
Yes.
We see what's going on in this world of ours, and we do see that the unhealthy choices make things more noticeable in the health arena of how do we handle a virus, how does our immune system function. So every level is important to want to feel better. We know when we feel better how the neurology works, that we are not so depressed, that we are not so anxious. And by the way, when you start taking the inflammatory foods out of the diet, and you start doing things, as we were talking about, clearing liver pathways, the new information, not so new, but in the past years, and you may have heard it out there, the gut-brain connection.
Yes.
Serotonin is produced in here. That's your happy hormone. And so much else is going on in here that if we work here with low inflammatory foods and get the right probiotics in there, our mood is much, much better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I don't think people do that connection with the gut and the brain.
Yeah.
So I think there's not enough talked about that. So I think the more that we can educate and talk about it, I think, you know, just like what you said, we want to feel good and we want that serotonin, but we can't just take a pill.
Exactly. And there's so much science going on in that world. I mean, your primary care may not be all involved in it because they just haven't read it yet. But that's my world and that's our world. And we know it. It's not, 25 years ago when I first got into this industry, we were kind of quacks. And the information really wasn't out there. Now the science is there from a global perspective.
Right.
And so I want to share that information with all of you so we can all get on board because it's really not that overly difficult to feel a lot better.
Right.
And you really don't know how good you can feel until you start implementing some of these simple practices.
And it keeps you wanting to be on that path, because like I know when I started getting into nutrition and started changing my diet, it's like with anything, it's like you kind of almost get addicted to it, and your body becomes more sensitive. Whereas, okay, maybe if I have the Doritos, I could totally feel a shift in like my mood and everything, and it makes me not want it anymore.
Yeah.
So
Well, I need creating the habit also. So once you start to create that healthy habit, you're kind of like, you know, and honestly, like now that I don't, a Snickers isn't even enjoyable to me anymore. It tastes like wax, unfortunately.
Right.
Like it's not
you
even,
taste the difference.
Yeah.
But there is balance, I will say that.
Yeah.
This is not a purist sitting
No,
in
no,
this
no,
chair.
no.
Because I think there's balance of having a life.
Yes.
But we teach you and you recognize, oh, a Snickers doesn't taste so good anymore, or the Doritos affect my brain in a funky way.
Yeah.
So that's what you'll discover by working with this program and working with you and you for your clients out there.
Yeah. You put the junk in, you're gonna feel like junk.
Yeah.
You put the good in, you're gonna feel good.
It is what you eat.
It is.
It is what you eat. It's what goes in the tube.
In the tube.
Yep.
In the tube.
So, is there anything else that you think is so detrimental to share with them that could be helpful? Just one last thought.
Yeah, I mean, one last thought. I away from taking supplements,
Right.
and away from really focusing on the food, we got to be out there moving.
Yes.
You know, we just watched a webinar yesterday by a brilliant doctor out of Spain, Barcelona, Spain. He's a personal friend of mine, and he talked about this whole weight loss program. But he goes, if you're not moving, you can take all the pills, you can eat all the right food, but you have to get the metabolism going.
Do you think that the moving is because you have to sweat it out, so that helps the detox pathways, or is it?
There's a component of that, but it's also waking up the cellular function, the mitochondria, to produce energy and get those nutrients moving.
Okay.
I always say when I go do my hike, I just got to get the blood moving.
Yes. Okay,
You know,
that makes sense.
Not being stagnant, and we see how it helps the brain chemistry and the happy hormones. It's really a positive thing. And I know it's very difficult to find the time, especially now with kids at home doing homeschool and all those things. If it's just 10 minutes a day, it's something. You know, I have those days. I start my day very early. But if it's just 10 minutes that I can lift in my house to get something going and fit it in. It doesn't have to be, I know every day is very tough to get it in every day.
Yeah.
Some of us have, more time than others to fit that in or are more disciplined. But if something, just get out there and move.
Yeah, and we'll continue to post movement, stuff to help you guys with movement, so that, because I'll be honest, like I went and did like a pool workout and I felt like a ding dong. My husband and I was like, okay, I didn't work out. So then I put out a YouTube on and I felt like a ding dong, like watching the little YouTube with my phone and trying to do whatever she had. It was weird and it did not feel like totally normal at all. So I get that. So I think we're gonna continue to create events for you guys so that you guys can come and be out in the park and we can all have community, but you can create movement so that we can all be together and just move through this time.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Hopefully do this again sometime.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.